Hi, welcome to Undead Yarn. My name is Heidi, and you can find me on Ravelry as Knitty Girl and as Knitty Girl 1 on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter. I hope you don't hear all that noise. There's this big machine that I've never seen before going up and down the street, chopping tree limbs off that are, I guess, in the way of the street, but I've never seen them do this before, so I'm not sure. It's got to be the maybe the neighborhood doing it. I'm not sure. Anyway, hopefully that won't be too distracting. And the first thing I wanted to say is thank you to everybody who sent me a Valentine. I really appreciated that. On Ravelry, I love those little Valentines. It was really cute. And I'm just noticing you can see a lot more of my my bookcases now. I also opened the windows. I have a very big window over on the side, and I pulled all the curtains aside to see if that would give us some more light. So there is some natural light in here today, but I still needed my other light. I don't know if it's going to help. We'll see. Oh, here they come. This is so annoying. And they just started the minute I started podcasting. Yay! Well, I'm going to keep going because I do have other things I have to do today. And hopefully, like I said, it won't be so awful. I have finished, finally, my Mirabelle. And this was knit in my DK weight Undead yarn. This is the Shire colorway. I actually dyed myself a neon Shire, but you can't really see the neon colors in here, so this kind of looks probably more like the regular Shire would look. But it's a neon green, and I have not sewn it together yet. You're supposed to take one end and sew it to the other end, kind of like this. And I haven't done it yet, so I can't really wear it the correct way. But it's finished. I just need to sew it together so that I can wear it the way that it is in the picture, because I really like the way that that it looks. And it'll be more of a poncho then instead of a shawl. Yep, they're right outside my window right now. Isn't that lovely? Okay, that's the first thing. Oh, and why did I show you that first? That's my finished object. I think this truck thing is driving me a little nuts. Alright, for works in progress, let's see what I've got in here. This is my fat squirrel bag with my Guilty of Knitting Under the Influence button. I think I got that from Heavenly Fibers at Kiddin' You. And I went ahead and went back and restarted the harmonized shawl. If you remember, I had made a Mobius out of it. I'm really good at not doing that with socks, but whenever I do a project that's really large, I always tend to either have all the stitches squinched up on the needles or just be kind of too lazy to really pay attention. But I did go back and do it this time. And I don't know if it's interesting. Usually when I show things on here, it doesn't always look quite what I think it should look like. But I will tell you that when I rewatch it, sometimes the colors look right. This is actually a neon. These are neon colors. And this is Kirby Warby yarn. And it's called the Bermuda Triangle. And this is the harmonized shawl or not shawl, it's a harmonized cowl, and it's by Christine Beeson. And I finished the first pattern. There's a couple different pattern repeats you do. I finished the first one, and here's what the ball looks like, Kirby Warby yarn. I love it. It's sparkly too. I don't know if you can really see the sparkles a little bit. Oh, there's my dog barking at everybody. Want to say hello? Come here, sweetie. Come on up. Here's Bella. She's the one who follows me around, and yes, she needs a haircut. She's going to get a haircut next week. She's my little Maltipoo. And she's my little girl that follows me around everywhere. Anyway, she's barking at the people outside. I think that noise is making her a little freaked out. Okay. And let's see what's in my other bags. I don't remember what I put in every bag, so it'll be a surprise. This is my silver shed bag. And let's see. Oh, this is a project I just started. My local yarn shop, the Happy You, is having a knit-along right now. And we're doing a knit-along for the YOLO shawl by Susan Ashcroft. And yes, I know I have another pattern on the needles by Susan Ashcroft. It just happened. The other one I picked, this one is the one for the knit-along. And this is called, like I said, it's the YOLO shawl. And I just started it. I'm using my Gradient Undead yarn in the spider base, which most of the things that are in the spider base are going to be from sock blanks. And this is my Pennywise sock blank. And so I'm using this to knit the shawl. So far I've just started on the purple. That's all I have so far. It's been a while since I've knit with purple. So it's kind of nice. But so far this is not a hard pattern. And I feel the same way about the Quaker yarn stretcher. They're those kind of patterns. Well, this one, there is one repeat where you have to kind of pay attention, but it's not difficult. And I was looking at, since I found out that I was doing 2 Susan Ashcroft patterns, I looked at some of her other patterns, and they all look like they're really fun knits. Like, they're not difficult knits. So I may end up buying another one of her patterns. Who knows? And I also pulled out my Viahant again. This is, everybody knows, this one's the one by Martina Bam. And I was using, did I just pull out stitches? Looks like I did. Put them back on the needle. And I'm using Spunky Eclectic yarn in the Soil Green colorway. I'm almost to the part. Looks beautiful. It's like a camouflage color. Greens and browns and blacks, and I'm almost to the part where I have to change the pattern. The last 20%, it's one of those where you kind of weigh your yarn, and I'm almost to the 20% point on the ball. This is what I have left, and then I will be starting the other pattern for the ending of it. But I can't wait to finish this because I think it's going to be great to wear. I could have used it this week. It's been really cold this week. We actually had a 2-hour delay, but we didn't end up getting any ice. So we haven't had any snow days this year. We usually have at least one, but no, it's one of those things. It's like just at 33 degrees so that it won't freeze when it has freezing rain. So we haven't had any freezing rain, and we're supposed to possibly get it again, but if we get it at the end of the week, I don't work at the end of the week, so I wouldn't benefit from the snow day anyway. Anyway, I'm going to reach out and grab this one. This is just, this is a Clinique bag, and I like it because it's got snaps on it. So yeah, sometimes I don't use project bags for my projects, but I've got a lot of bags. I have plenty of project bags, and I have a lot of other bags too. This is the Quaker yarn stretcher, and I am so loving the way this is turning out. This is Fiber Nymph Dye Works, and it's in the Enclave of, no, is it, what is it called? I think it's called Enclave of Yellows. Let's see. Yes, an Enclave of Yellows. That's what it's called. Maybe if I put it up against the white, you can see the color better. Yes. Ooh, look at that. That looks pretty good. It's very bright, and I love it. And I love the pattern. It's not difficult. Again, just like the other pattern I'm doing, it's not difficult, but it does have enough interest to make it look pretty different. It's not just plain stockinette. So that is my other whip. I just love this. It makes me think of sunshine. So those are the things that I'm working on. I already showed you my FO by mistake, but whatever. You've seen it. I just have to sew it together, and then I can wear it like a poncho. Right now, I can wear it like a shawl. It's nice, and because it's garter stitch, I don't need to block it, which is also nice because this is IT again. Because that's something that often holds me up. If I have to block something, it might take take me a while to get around to it. I do have spinning this week, and I finally pulled out my Jerry Brock spindle that I bought at SSK last year, and you can see it's got flames on the part of the spindle. This thing spins like a dream. I love this spindle. I am in love with it, and I usually don't like spinning on a spindle. I've used a lot of drop spindles. I had one that was okay. I did buy another one that turned out to be really unbalanced. I was trying to spin with it. I'm like, why is it so wobbly? What is going on? And then I talked to some other people and found out that that person who makes spindles, they aren't always as well balanced as they should be. So, and I've used some other ones. I don't know why. I just don't like drop spindling. But I really like this. I like, I don't know why. It just spins, maybe because it spins so smoothly. I also like that I like the way that it comes out in a cup. I like, it doesn't bother me as much to do this as it does to spin all that stuff on the bottom of the drop spindle. I really like it. And I have 2 other cops so far. And this I spun, this is the, this was that crazy rollag I made. Oops, I've got other fiber stuck to it. Oh, great. I have some cotton yarn that was sitting there. Oh no, that was the leader. I used that for the leader at the beginning. So this is from that rollag that I made a long time ago at the Happy You. I think it was probably this time last year that I made it. I started just spinning some extra fiber that I had gotten in a kit or something. I don't remember where it came from. It was just a small amount, but I just wanted to try it, try the spindle. And then I was having so much fun with it that I pulled out the rollag, and I ended up spinning the whole rollag on the Turkish spindle. And I'm looking at it, and it's fun. You know, the colors are fun. They're kind of crazy. But I don't know if I want to knit any big garment or anything with this, since it's so crazy. I've been thinking about starting a barn-raising square shawl, blanket. So maybe that's what I'll use these for. I'm probably just going to leave them in singles and, yeah, just use it like that. Because I think if I apply it, it's just going to be even crazier looking. So I think this will look better if I just leave it in singles. So that was fun playing with the blending board and everything. But, yeah, I think I saw somebody at the Yellow Rose Fiber Festival using a blending board, and she was more consistent with how she was making her rollags and poonies, and after watching that, I think I have a better idea of what I would like them to look like for when I want to spin them up, because this was fun to do, and it was like kind of fun putting all these crazy things together, but I really don't want to make like any particular thing with these. These have so many colors in them. I don't think they would look that great, like if you tried to knit a hat or something. It would just look really strange. So anyway, that was spinning, and now I am hooked on Turkish spindles, I think. Or maybe it's just Jerry Brock's Turkish spindle. I don't know. I really liked it. Anyway, oh, the next thing I have is week in review. I guess for Valentine's Day in the morning, we took a sewing class. I think I mentioned that last time, that we were going to take a sewing class. And we did that in the morning, and that was fun. I let my husband sit at the machine and do most of it because he's never used a sewing machine before. So I just did a little bit of it. I kind of did the things that were different. When I used to sew, I sewed on my mom's old Singer. And, you know, it wasn't well, it was run by power and everything, but it didn't have all those electronic buttons and stuff on it that all the machines have now. So after that, we went to try this place called Black Star Co-op, and I don't know if they have this in other cities. It might be kind of a new thing, but there were a bunch of people that wanted to start a brewing company, and I guess none of them had the capital to begin with by themselves. So what they did is they started a co-op, and so they invited people in the community to join it, and for a certain amount of money you can buy into the co-op, and then you get invited to special events and all kinds of things. Well, it started off small, and it's grown bigger and bigger, and they have lots of members now. And the other thing that's interesting is they don't expect, well, when you order a beer, you don't leave a tip, because they say they pay their people a living wage, so you don't have to leave a tip. And I think that there's the same thing for the servers. They pay them a living wage, so they don't expect you to tip. I don't think they want you to tip. I think the one time we went, this is the second time we went. First time we went, we just had some beers, but we went back to try the food because it was a good menu, or it looked like a good menu. You know, pub food's kind of fun. So we went back there to have lunch, and it was a nice day. We sat outside. We had a couple beers, we had some burgers and fries, and it was really good. But it's an interesting place, and they rotate the beers that they have on tap. They do make their own beers, so they have their own beers, and then they also bring in a lot of outside beers that are microbrews. So it's interesting. I guess every time you go in there, at almost any time, you could see a whole new row of beers. So it's a really neat concept, and we enjoyed having lunch there. And then that evening, my husband made us a pizza for dinner, so we had a lot of heavy food, but it was fun and it was tasty. I think those are the main things we did in the last couple of weeks, because last weekend my husband started getting another big headache. I think I mentioned before, he had a root canal. He had to have another one. I haven't had to have any, and I hope I never do, because the pain, it's like, he gets headaches. They're so bad, it's like he's sick. He doesn't want to do anything. I guess it would be, you could compare it to a migraine. So we really didn't do anything last weekend, which was fine with me, because then I can watch podcasts and knit and and have fun. And spin. So I do have some enabling. Let me start with, I got my club shipment from Jujus Fiber, my second one, and I love this one. It's awesome. It's got my favorite bright green and bright yellow with two different kinds of grays. It's really, really pretty. This is going to definitely be a pair of socks, and I'm going to love them. This is the same base that I said last time. The colorway is called Raver. That's funny. It's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 420 yards. So this is the new club shipment from Jujus Fiber. And I also, what else did oh yes, I forgot. I didn't mention this before, so I thought I would mention it. I'm sorry, I'm leaning off the camera, but I couldn't fit everything on the desk today. There's just too much junk here. Plus I have to do taxes. I'm not looking forward to that. I finally gathered all the stuff. It took me 2 hours to gather all the business stuff together. And then I went to sit down at the computer and enter my information, because my husband had already put his in, and it wouldn't let me in. He gave me the wrong passcode. So then I tried to do it today. And I put the wrong passcode in the first time, so the second time I put in the right passcode, but then it was like, oh, well, now we have to email you to make sure that this is actually you, and what's your 6-digit code? I'm like, I don't know. So I was like, oh, podcast. Do podcast instead. Okay, anyway. I am going to be taking, I think I mentioned at DFW Fiber Fest, I'm going to be taking a applying class from JC Boggs. I'm so excited. I've heard she's a really, really good teacher. And my Kromsky came with, I have a Kromsky Sonata, and it came with a Lazy Kate that has 2 places for bobbins. But I want 3, and I want to, you know, because the whole plan is for me to learn to Navajo ply from this class, but I also would like to be able to do a true 3-ply. And so I bought a Lazy Kate, and this is a traveling one, and I'm probably going to bring it to the class because I think it might be helpful. Since we are doing plying, I don't think it's just going to be Navajo plying. It might be other plying too, but I'm going to bring this just in case. And apparently you put these, it's got room for 3. It actually has room for 4. And there's a straw in here. I'm going to have to look at, I'm not sure what all these things are for. Maybe you put the straws on the, I guess I'll have to look at the instructions. I haven't looked at the instructions yet. I'm one of those people who like tries to do stuff without looking at instructions. Here's 1, 2. Is there another one? Here it is. Yes. Oh, the straws were covering the little bobbin thingies. So there's room for 3, and then there's a little thing that goes in the middle. This is called Katie A Go-Go, and it's made by Nancy's Knit Knacks. And I know that they make really good supplies for spinning. And this goes in the middle. And I also kind of like this touch because this is a little different from just having a Lazy Kate that has, you know, like the arch one. So apparently you put your bobbins on, and then you put all 3 through here, so they're all going through together. It's kind of like through an orifice hook or something, you know. So this is my new Lazy Kate that I bought. I'm not sure. There's some other parts in there. I'm going to have to figure out what all those little parts are for. And so I have this, and I'm excited about this because now I can do a true 3-ply. And I might even do that before the FW Fiber Fest. I kind of want to do it with the Reese's Pieces yarn that I have, that I showed you last week. The fiber that I bought from Fiber Nymph. That might be fun. And then I also got a 1-yard Nitty Noddy. Now I do have a bigger Nitty Noddy that my husband made out of PVC pipe for me. And, you know, I have the skein winder too. But I found that I was going to try to do some mini skeins, and it's kind of hard to pull them off of the skein winder, that small amount, and not get them messed up, making them look nice. So I think this will be helpful for that, and apparently it's also pretty helpful when you're you know, when you're plying and you're spinning. So now I have a Nitty Noddy, and I got those from the Happy You. So those are for spinning. And then let me see if I can pull this basket up. Yes, that's better. I went a little book crazy. Oh, I forgot. This is the thing I was going to talk about that I got. Okay, here's the first one. I won this from Pink Hair Girl Knits. And I am in love with this book. Oh my gosh, I love it. And I forgot to even write it down on my show notes. I just wrote books. She has a podcast, and she has a pattern book. And it's interesting. It goes up like this instead of across. And I will tell you, the photography in this is stunning. Let me show you. Like, there's... it's set up by areas of Africa, I guess of South Africa. Yeah, different areas in South Africa. And the knits are inspired by that. And I'm not going to go into a full detail review because there have been lots of really good reviews of this already. The Knit Girls did one, and so did Elizabeth of Dark Matter Knits. And I'm not sure, there may have been some other ones, but look at the photography. It's just stunning. And I don't know if this camera is even doing it justice, but this is beautiful. And I swear I could knit everything in here, except I probably wouldn't knit the baby stuff because I don't have babies. And when I knit for babies, I don't usually knit a sweater. I have knit a sweater for a kid, though. That doesn't take as long as knitting a regular sweater. But she has some lovely shawls in here. And you guys know that's my thing. I love shawls. So look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And then she has some other ones. There's one that looks like it's like a color work shawl. Let's see if I can find it. And I think, if I'm remembering correctly, that the shawl, she has like 3 patterns that are inspired by the same design. Yes, this is the Cape Point shawl. I like this one too. But she also has the Cape Point mitts, the Cape Point hat. Here's the mitts. The Cape Point hat. Let's see if I can find the hat. I'm trying to find a picture that does not show the pattern. The Cape Point hat and the Cape Point cowl. And if I wasn't already doing the harmonized cowl, I would be knitting this cowl right now. I like it a lot. It's a chevron cowl, and I love that. And it looks like you could use up scrap yarn for it. So this is a gorgeous book. Thank you so much for this book, Sally. I love it. It's awesome. And if you don't listen to Pink Hair Girl Knits, you should, because she's a lot of fun. She always makes me laugh. I also got some things on sale from Hobby Lobby. I've always wanted to try this. I like this designer, and I've taken a class. Is it Shannon? Yes, I've taken a class from Shannon before, and he's hilarious. If you like crochet, and if you like to crochet and you would like to take a class from somebody, he has really good classes, and he's really funny, so he's very entertaining. This has 13 designs, and it's small to extra large, which is good. And the back cover shows all the designs. And I've always wanted to try this book. I love this book, so when I saw it was on sale, I bought it. So that's not a brand new one. And then I also bought Warm Weather Knits by Deborah Newton. And I like Deborah Newton. A lot of her patterns are, I would say simple, but no, they're not simple. I just like her designs. Those are some of the designs that are in there. I really love the dress. I'm sorry about the shining light. Let me turn that a little bit. I love the dress, but I would probably never knit it. I don't know if I have the patience to knit a dress. I love the way they look, especially the ones that aren't body hugging. I'm too old to be wearing a body hugging dress, but oh, and I love this too. This is gorgeous. This tank. So I bought that, and then with my Amazon points, I bought Noro lace. Oh my god, I love this. I love all Noro. You know, I think I've told you guys I collect Noro books, and no, I'm not going to knit everything. Noro pattern books. I'm not going to knit everything in every book, but there's something about the yarn. I like that it's rustic. I like the way it feels. I like that it has veg matter in it. I love the colors. I just love everything about Noro. And there are 2 things in here that I really would like to make. I just think this is gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Look at that. And it's been a while since I've knit a circular shawl. I often try to stay away from them because the ending rows are often killers. But I did finally get some, I think it's 40-inch needles with long cables. That's the other thing. I never really had a needle that had a really long cable on it, and so I'd end up having to use those connectors. And I found when you have to use your interchangeables and use the connectors don't always stay together. And I even had problems with Addy, so I don't think it matters what kind of needle you're using. I just think I'm starting to lean more towards fixed needles. I really like that you can slide the fabric easier, even if you yank on it, especially with Chigoos. Even if you yank on it, it doesn't come apart. It's not falling apart. So yeah. And I really like this vertebrae stitch afghan. I think this stitch is really popular right now because I think there's some other patterns. I can't remember. Vertebrae sweater maybe or something. But this is called the Vertebrae Stitch Afghan, and unfortunately on this page, let's see if I can, I would like to show you a bigger picture, but I don't want to show, oh, here we go, perfect. I love that, and I have some black and white soy silk Patons SWS that I'd like to knit, but I don't know that I want to knit a garment for me with that, because I don't want to look like a zebra. But I think it might be kind of cool in a patterned blanket, you know. And black and white matches everything. So those are the two I definitely want to knit. But yeah, there's other ones in there that I'm eyeing. I'm just not. I have enough on the needles already, and enough plans for things coming up. So that's all for enabling. I wanted to talk to you guys about the shawl along. And I have 4 prizes for the shawl along, and I don't think I've mentioned all of them before. Actually, I don't even know if I mentioned what the prizes were before on the podcast. The first is going to be a skein of my yarn. You can pick something from the shop. It's going to need to be something that's already in the shop, so no pre-orders, but you can pick anything from the shop when I draw for the prizes. I'm also going to give away a bag from Sew For You, and I actually use the coupon code myself. Undead will give you 10% off of her bags until March 15th. And I bought a bag for myself because I like her stuff. I like the fabric she uses. She's got a lot of things with skulls on it, and that is right up my alley. And here's the inside. The inside is just a plain inside, but that's fine with me because I like it. I just want it to be a sturdy bag. And she does have her tag in there. I love when people put their tags in so that I know which bag it was, especially if I want to go back and buy more. And it's drawstring, and that's my big thing. Although I do have those, I don't mind those zipper bags. I have found I don't mind the zipper bags if they're big. Now, I don't really like the small zipper bags because then that would snag your yarn. But the bigger ones have been okay for me. So, and the other thing that's nice is that the bottom, if you have your stuff in there, you can probably stand it up because it's a stand-up bag. I love this one. It says knit to live, live to knit, and that is me. And here's her card. Sew For You, and she is on Etsy. So make sure you go ahead and go to her shop and take a look. And I have 2 more prizes. One's going to be a $10 or less pattern. I found that sometimes I like the $7 or less patterns, but when you have $10 or less patterns, that opens up so many more patterns, and there's a lot of nice patterns that are more than $7. And I also am going to donate a skein of sock yarn from my stash. I haven't figured out which one yet, but I have a very huge stash, and I have a lot of nice stuff, so it'll be something that people would definitely covet. So far we only have 1 entry, and I have 4 prizes, so it's a good, you have a good chance of winning. And like I said, I also don't mind if you double dip. I know there's other podcasters right now who are doing shawl alongs for SSK. They're doing a knit along for Susan B. Anderson's stuff, and she has a lot of shawls. If you have knit one for SSK, you're welcome to put that in my thread too, as long as they don't care. I don't think they do. I think knit girls are usually pretty open about that. But yeah, if you are knitting a shawl, make sure you enter it. You have, it has to be started after February 1st, on or after February 1st, and it needs to be done by April 30th. I think that's February, March, April. Yes, end of April. So we've got time. And what's next? Boy, what a good segue, huh? Okay, I'm putting that down so I don't have some big junky thing in my lap. Lately, let's see, what I've been watching. I finished watching Bleak House. I had to rent it from the library because they took it off Netflix. Why? Why did they do that? It was frustrating. I thought that it said on my queue that it was going to be there till February 15th. But when I went to watch the rest of it, like February 3rd or 4th, it was already gone. So they really meant February. Anyway, I finished it, and it was really good. I will say I was not very, but I was kind of disappointed in the ending because things seemed to wrap up a little bit too neatly, but I guess that happens in a lot of books, but I don't always expect that from Charles Dickens, so I was kind of surprised. If you guys have watched Bleak House or read the story, let me know what you think. I don't know, I kind of felt like there should have been more bleakness. Anyway, that's done, and my husband and I are still watching Blacklist Season 1. I love it. I think it's so great, but he wants to watch Bosch. And Bosch is good, and I know like tons of people are really into it right now. It's about a detective, and I have to go back and like I kind of half watch them, kind of on my phone when we're watching Bosch. It's good. It's just not Blacklist. I think the thing I like about Blacklist is the darkness, and yeah, Bosch is dark, but maybe I just haven't quite gotten into it as much as my husband. He loves it. And a lot of other people do. It might have won some awards or something. Anyway, it's streaming free if you have Amazon Prime. And we have Amazon Fire TV, and I just love that thing. The only thing is I can't really get... I don't think I can get iTunes on it like I could on our other box, the Apple TV, but I really like it because I can watch Netflix and Amazon Prime. And there's also a new thing out, if you don't know, it's called Sling TV, and I got a free trial for 7 days, and we decided not to keep it, but it's $20 a month, and it has like ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC Family, and a couple other stations that people like to watch. But there's not a lot. There's like maybe 7 things, and if you want more, you have to pay more than $20. I'm thinking, Netflix is $10. And Amazon Prime is like $100 for the year, so I don't know, $20 a month. I don't know. So we didn't get it, but it is something else that you can watch on Amazon Fire TV now. And the other thing I've been watching is Once Upon a Time, and I think I said I was watching season 2. I was wrong. It's season 3. I didn't realize it was season 3. And I don't like this season as much as I like the first 2. I'm getting kind of annoyed with this Peter Pan thing, so anyway. I'm not sure how many episodes I have left. I kind of want to look and see how many are left, because I'm like, when is this Peter Pan thing going to be over? But if I do that, then I'm on season 4, and I don't think that's up yet, so. What I'm reading is I'm still reading Sword of Shannara, and it's actually gotten really exciting lately. I was kind of getting like to the point where I'm like, oh, it's kind of dragging on, because they're just doing their... they keep running into problems with the gnomes, and I was just getting tired of it. But then new characters got introduced, and some really scary stuff happened, and it's more interesting now. So I've been reading it more thoroughly. I think I'm about halfway through. And that's by Terry Brooks. And then I'm also still reading Herland by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. I was just reading. Listening to with Craftlit. I love Craftlit. And if I had more time, I would probably subscribe to her other... she also has a subscription service, but I feel like I'm always so far behind on all the podcasts and everything anyway that I don't know if I could keep up with that, but I'm kind of considering it because she did Bleak House. She also did some that I'm not that interested in. Like, I'm not really interested in Sherlock Holmes. I know, gasp, awful, but I don't really care about Sherlock Holmes, and I didn't like the Canterbury Tales when I had to read them in school. So, I don't know, I'm kind of playing with the idea, but I haven't decided for sure yet. And then I'm also started listening to Anne of Green Gables, because believe it or not, I have never read that book. When I was a kid, I told you, I read all the time. I don't know why I never picked that one up. The one that it makes me think of that's kind of in a similar vein, like my age I probably would have been when I read that, was The Secret Garden, and I love that book. I think I read that 2 times, and I never read books more than once. I just didn't when I was a kid. But I really love that one. So Anne of Green Gables is interesting. I do have to say I'm a little annoyed with this imagination stuff. It's kind of like every other word. I feel like she's imagining. But it is very engaging, and she's kind of an endearing character, so I'm definitely going to finish it. It's a nice, light thing to listen to while I'm in the car. And then we did have one person enter in the FO thread, and it was Marlicia from the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast. She made an Oops the Bunny and called it Heidi Berry. Thanks. And she used my yarn to make a freaking toy. I'm sorry, I just don't like knitting toys. They're cute when they come out, but then I'm like, it's not really useful. You just kind of look at it. The one useful toy, I guess, I gave to my my nephew, and then I would go over to, like, when I would go visit, I didn't see it anywhere, so I don't even know what happened to it. So anyway, yeah, and I still have that Toothless in hibernation. I'm hoping I will get to it one day, one of these days. Anyway, Marlicia, you should PM me and let me know what $7 or less pattern you would like, and I will send you a 25% off coupon soon for the shop. And that's for anybody. If you make something with Undead Yarn, make sure you enter it in my FO thread in the Undead Yarn Ravelry group. You need to be a member, but, like, you know, that's easy. You just click join the group. And depending on how many there are per month, if there's more than one per month, and that's happened, then I will do a random number generator, and whoever wins will get a $7 or less pattern. And then everybody who enters the thread with an FO will automatically get a coupon for 25% off in my shop. I do have 2 new skeins of yarn to talk about. No, not 2 new ones. I have 1 new one. And unfortunately, I don't have it to show you because somebody bought the 2 skeins that I had dyed for the shop, or had dyed to put up in the shop. It's up for pre-orders right now. Let's see if I can pull it up. But I did want to remind you guys that the Leprechaun self-striping is only going to be available until Sunday. So if you would like to order a skein of that, please order it before Sunday, because actually on Sunday, on March 1st, I'm going to take it out of the shop. So you have a couple more days if you're interested in that. And this is my new colorway. And I don't think you can even see it that great, so you should probably, I would go and look at it on, maybe that's a little bit better, but not quite. It is my Autism Awareness colorway, and this is to go along with the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast. They are doing an Autism Awareness knit-along starting in April. So these, I figured I would put this out before April so that if you wanted to use my yarn to knit something for the Autism Awareness, you could do it on, you would have the yarn before the knit-along starts. So this will be available, I think I'm going to have it available at least through the month of March, probably through the month of April, because April is actually Autism Awareness Month. And I'm going to be donating 20% of the proceeds from this yarn to, let's see, it was there's 2 autism groups that I found, and I'm going to donate 20% of the proceeds to Autism Speaks. And they're a nonprofit that is helping to do research and advocate for children with, not just children, adults too, with autism. And since I am a speech therapist and I have worked with, I can't even tell you how many autistic children, I think it's something that's really important for people to understand. I probably won't go into too much detail about autism. I do know quite a bit, but basically I will say that my yarn, the skeins of yarn will all vary because it's basically white yarn with the 4 colors that are in the autism puzzle. If you don't know what I mean, there's like there is a color, there are colors that are considered the colors for Autism Awareness Month, and they are yellow, turquoise, blue, and red. And basically the skein of yarn is white with all those colors. And I will say that each skein of yarn will be a little bit different, just like each child or each adult, each person with autism is a little bit different. I haven't had any two kids be the same. It's just like people in general are different. And I think sometimes people don't realize, these are kiddos with different personalities and different tendencies. No two kids are alike. And I think that's about all I'm going to say about that. I do know that Marlicia and Talia will be talking a lot more about what autism is in their podcast when they start their autism awareness knit-along. Anyway, with that, if you do not watch their podcast, I would go check it out. They're a lot of fun, and they always have tons of things on the needles, which is something that I find really interesting and intriguing. So they always have different projects to look at, and they use all different kind of yarns. So, yeah, go check out Pinhook and Needles. Anyway, I am ready to wrap this up, and nice thing is that now that awful truck is gone. So with that, I'm going to say get busy knitting or get busy dyeing.